It's Door County's own FM 106.9 and 93.3, The Lodge, in Studio B today with another great new guest, Burke Pinney. Welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Boy, if that name's not familiar with a lot of our Door County natives, it should be, because tell us a little bit about your story, Burke.
Oh, well, the family, my family, the Pinneys, have been in Door County since about the 1840s. Started out at Evergreen Nursery, which still exists, down on County T, heading out towards the lake. And then kind of a shift, but, same type of thing, outdoorsy, naturey, is a tree nursery. And my father actually shifted over to the Door County Parks Department it was actually 1994.
Sure.
And so I grew up in the parks, going out with him on the weekends and just hanging out and seeing how the parks progressed throughout those decades of him working there. And, well, I went off to Madison, UW-Madison, after high school here, graduated from Sturgeon Bay in 2005. And from there, I studied zoology as my undergrad. Decided to hang around because it was the height of the recession and didn't know what in the world I was going to do. So I ended up getting my master's in water resources management from there as well.
Fantastic.
Started working for the DNR for a little while and realized that I wanted to be outdoors more than I was getting the chance to be. So I moved on over to parks and worked in Dane County Parks for several years before moving back up here, and originally started last year with the Village of Sister Bay, worked in their parks department, and then an opportunity to work for Door County Parks came available, so I jumped at it. So
welcome. It's like local boy does good and went away, came back. And we love to have some of that talent come back to our own county. So you are now, Burke Pinney, the shoes that are filling the Door County Parks manager.
Yes, that's correct.
Welcome. So what do you feel is going to be the management style that you're going to lead into the Parks Department?
Well, I like to do a little bit of a mix of everything. I don't just want to sit behind a desk all day. I'm not going to do that. I want to be outside half the time, indoors, writing grants, doing research the other half of the time.
Sure, and I think a lot of people forget that that's a big part of what managers do, not only just managing people and some of the resources, but actually finding the funding to do the cool things that we're able to do here in our county.
Yep, that's correct. And those can come through the DNR. They can come through private organizations. The funding is endless. Gifts from individuals, whether that be through individual land gifts or through monetary gifts or just by their labor. We have a wonderful friends group up here that's very involved in the Door County Park system, that a lot of things that have been done in the parks we wouldn't have been able to do without them.
So talk to me a little bit about some of the struggles that you're going to have with the Parks Department right now. Probably, my guess would be over at Pinney Park, or some people refer to that yet as the Stone Quarry Park, and maybe Carmody Park, because the boat launches are getting hit pretty hard with high water level damage.
Yep, that's correct. Right now, actually, over at Pinney Park, or Old Stone Quarry Park, we only have our boat launch docks in. We actually don't have some of the side piers that we would normally have in. The water's too high. By the end of the year, last year, the water had risen so much that the chains that are used to attach them to the harbor wall were actually pulling the docks and tilting them sideways because the water was too high.
Right.
So actually, currently right now, I'm in the midst of receiving estimates to do some work to those harbor walls to make it so hopefully this summer we can get those other docks in and make the park completely usable.
Right, and both of those are pretty high-use areas, too, for safe harbors.
Actually, with Carmody Park, that's actually the number one use park as far as boat launches go in our system. We actually have just installed credit card machines at that location, Pinney, and also Chaudoir dock in the southern portion of the county.
Ooh, we're getting fancy now.
Yep. So you can buy your annuals there. You can buy dailies. You can buy both the annuals for resident, non-resident. And like I said, it's a credit card machine now, so the transactions are instantaneous.
And I'm sure that probably helps, too, with folks not having to have face-to-face interactions, too, with COVID, and maybe a little bit more
used distanced. To be a lot of individuals would come straight into the office to buy their permit. And now they can just simply print out that slip. The slip is good for 30 days. You just send it in to us. Where do you want your sticker sent to?
Sure.
And then we just mail the sticker out.
Fantastic. So you had mentioned that Carmody Park is the most used park. How many parks are now in the Door County Parks system?
So there are 19 county parks.
I can think of like 5.
Well, there's some that a lot of people don't even know really exist.
Sure.
Heading up on Highway 57, when you right before you get into Bailey's there's actually a little wayside called Meridian Park that for years the county highway department took care of.
Sure.
Starting July 1st.
Yeah, it was like almost like a little wayside.
Yeah, and it's been closed, unfortunately, this year, concerns about bathroom cleanliness, upkeep, things like that. And we've actually worked out a deal with the highway department that the Facilities and Parks Department will take control of that on July 1st of this year. And that has to do with acreage that we actually own behind that. There's actually another county park there called Meridian County Park that a lot of folks don't realize exists.
Sure, and that property I think also butts up against the south end of Kangaroo Lake, the Rush's property, some of the Door County Land Trust property.
Yep.
So it's something that the Door County Parks Department does work in conjunction with or coalition with some of those other entities when they are looking at doing some preservation.
That's correct. Yep. And there are no purposely made trails. There are trails that run through there that have been made by individuals just through the years going through.
Yeah, the cow path style trails.
Yes. So no defined trails or maps, but that's just one that folks may not know exist.
I think Ellison Bay Bluffs would be the other one that comes to mind as far as people knowing how to get there and access for them, some of those. So you have obviously parks from the tip of the county and all the way south into Claybanks.
Yep. And our 2 furthest south parks, one of them is Chaudoir's Dock, just like I was saying, that we just put a pay station in for the boat launch. That's
Sure.
on the Green Bay side. And on the other extreme side on Lake Michigan is Robert LaSalle County Park. That park it has a playground, restroom facilities. One of the challenges we are currently facing is erosion, as I'm sure you know, and it's very evident in that park. So we're working to address that right now as well. But that may be one people who aren't from the Claybank southern area there that they just kind of pass by because it's
there's
it's
a
not off the main
lower
highway.
below the hill, right?
Mm-hmm. And there's 2 different sections, and it's kind of cool because they think that's where the French explorer Robert LaSalle actually landed in the 1600s during a very bad storm.
Sure. So there's lots of history that goes along with how these properties have been acquired through the county process over the years.
That's
All right.
correct.
So I'm going to ask you, maybe it's like picking your favorite child, but what is your favorite Door County park?
Oh, boy. Actually, I would go with Door Bluff Headlands.
That is a good one.
Completely untouched, gorgeous, gorgeous different tiers as you're walking down into the park and heading towards the water. Some very old and large, beautiful cedar trees are in there. And some of them have actually formed into very unique shapes just based on other trees falling around them and them manipulating themselves biologically to reach the sunlight. There's one of my favorite trees that the folks who know where it is don't know what I'm talking about.
They have their favorite tree, too.
It's the M tree. Yeah, it looks like an M. Literally, the tree goes up, down, and it looks like an M.
We'll have to find that and post that. We're speaking with Burke Pinney. He is the new Door County Parks Manager in Studio B at the Lodge. Burke, tell me a little bit also about where do you feel like you want to take the legacy of your family now that you're in the shoes of the Parks Department? Do you have a vision of where the county park system will go?
Well, I'd like to continue to add on to the park system to make as much land, public use land, as possible for individuals. Not all of us can, afford to live on the water, and so those access points for the public are very important, especially in the county that we live in, which has more shoreline than any other county in the United States. If you don't believe me, look it up.
I believe you. It's quite a gem, and I feel like a person that similar to you went away, came back, was a local that had left and came back. One of the things I missed the most was the water, being able just to get down to the water anytime we wanted.
Yeah, it's truly a very unique place. Not many like it, if anything like it, anywhere else in the world.
Fantastic. It's Burke Pinney, Door County's new parks manager, here on Door County's own FM 106.9 and 93.3 The Lodge.